Hello, everyone. Uh, Welcome to Modern Rich Living. I'm Devin. Oh, and then I hit the mic. See, we're having problems. Uh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to show off my cool new dragon. We're gonna talk about him in a second, but I need to make a strap for him so he stays on my damn shoulder. This has been a thing, and it's not the maker who is the fault. The maker is awesome, and we'll talk about her in a second. But isn't he cute? Isn't that just amazing? Look at that. Yeah, and he's got a nose ring and just the level of detail. Yeah, incredible. So I I people are like, "Oh, did you make it?" I did not make this. This is a dragon that was made by my friend Amy. And I can't remember her studio off the top of my head. I'm going to find it for you, and I will absolutely share that info because I never can remember it off the top of my head. Something I don't know. I'm not even going to try. But yeah, so she made it for me, and it's just beautiful. He is really cool. So there's these leather kind of like bits on the bottom that have Velcro. And so you put a leather strap through it, and then he will sit on your shoulder and do dragon things. So that's pretty cool. And I am very happy with him. So it was neat. I did not take him to the airport. I put him in my luggage because I was not about to try that out. But yeah, so he sleeps over my head now, and I'm just obsessed. Isn't he super cool? Yeah. So hi everybody. It is episode 4 of Modern Rich Living. And where am I going to put you? I'm going to put you over here for now. And this is the show that has no real plan. I just sit down and talk about my whips and things that are going on in the creative side of life. And I've got some updates for everybody. So if you are into updates, then I've got those for you. I have some works in progress that I'm excited to share with you. I have an FO, a couple of UFOs, and what else? Oh, book recs I have to talk about. There's all kinds of things. So let's just get caught up. I'm just going to say hi, everybody in the chat room. Hi, Tom. Welcome. I should probably turn this light off. I'm going to, but welcome. It is so good to see you. I've got a bunch of people who I can't see. So you must be from the Facebook group. Thank you for joining the Facebook group, but you have to turn on permissions so that StreamYard can see you and say hi. Hi, Robert. Still, yes, he is so fucking cute. Kind of incredible. So I am absolutely obsessed with him. And like I said, he is definitely hanging out. He sleeps over my head now, and I'm just absolutely here for it. I have no complaints. And Amy did an incredible job. Matt got a griffin. So we went down. So let's talk about convocation. Let's just take a moment. Let's talk about convocation because that was what getting some of these projects ready for was all about. Oh, I didn't bring my shirt. There's things I did not even grab to show you. So I'll have to show you next week. But coffee. There was a lot of things to get ready for convocation, and then we got there and we had such a really interesting and awesome time. So let's just talk about all that. So as you remember, so let's talk about the crafty things that were involved with that whole convocation experience. So as you remember, I was working on my Lenny Kravitz scarf, which is this beautiful, giant, huge, humongous thing. So this is how thick this thing is. Bada boom. So when I wear it, it's just never ending, right? And it was awesome on a plane. It was just incredible. It sheds like nobody's business. So when I say it's the scarf of doom, it really is the scarf of doom. I am felted. I have clothes that I'm going to be going over with tape for months, easily. I love it, but oh my goodness, it sheds. So, and that was because I did not, I didn't block it, and I didn't wash it before we went off because I didn't have time, right? And I was not about to. I didn't get it done until maybe 2 days before we were supposed to head out. So there's no way I was going to wash it and then hang it to dry and it be dry in 2 days. That was not going to happen, right? So I was like, oh, screw it. Horrible mistake. Horrible mistake. And not maybe that'll get rid of the glare behind me. if I sound like this. But it was a horrible mistake. So it just shed the whole time. And I got lots of compliments, which was super cool. And I mean, who doesn't? I mean, that was the whole point, right? Was to like have this like epic scarf and then walk through the airport. And I wanted to do this whole photo shoot. And I thought, oh, Matt and I are getting there. Matt and I are getting there early enough that like we can take some cool photos of me like wearing it, and I can show it off on Instagram and do all that. None of that happened, right? Of course. So, but I got it done. I did not have time to wash it or do anything to take care of it in any like preserving it kind of way. So we get on we get to the airport. And I do have some travel vloggy video stuff that I just need to edit and put together, and I'll put it out this week, but hopefully. And I do have another video where I want to specifically talk about convocation and other conferences. And so that I'm working on that. So for more of the like what it was like to present and things like that side, just hold on. I got a video coming for that. But I can talk about the whole experience pretty much here. So yeah, so I had the scarf and it was like all about looking good. And I got compliments from like the minute we walked into the airport. Like people were like, oh, nice scarf. Even one of the pilots like had like, as we were coming off, he was like, it's a cool scarf. Thank you. It is a cool scarf. So like, Sagittarius ego buttons achieved, all things were pressed. Yay. That made me happy. What I wasn't prepared for was honestly how freaking hot it is. So that's something that I'm definitely gotta keep in mind next time I'm on a plane, because I'm usually cold on a plane, but this time I was hot. So that was just kind of annoying. Whatever, it happens. And then we get there and it's kind of late at night and I'm tired and sinuses are all bleh. But we get there and we are pretty much instantly taken to the hotel, which was awesome. We had a really fantastic time. Just like just in general, I can say that it was probably one of the best conferences. Like it was super comfortable, especially as a presenter. Like I was able to kind of like get away when I needed to like breathe and I was feeling overstimulated or whatever. And it never felt like there wasn't a place to go, but it always felt like when I was ready to be around people, there were people to be around, which was great. And there was just such a good vibe the whole time. Like everybody there was really just excited to be doing the conference thing again. And everyone was just in a really good mood. So we had a fantastic time. There was like some weird glitch in the hotel's fire alarm system. So like at, I don't know, I want to say 2:00 in the morning or something, suddenly the fire alarm is going off. And I'm like toasty, right? Like I am inebriated. It's 2 a.m. I am all the things, right? And we just had come back from the ball and it's the last night and just the whole 9 yards. And then something happens to the fire alarm. And of course it's totally like, well, you got a bunch of like witches around, like something weird is going to happen. There was no fire. And it wasn't like it went off in the whole building. It just went off on 2 of the floors. So we were all like out in my friend Jackie's car, just being like cold, waiting, to warm up. And then right about the time it started to warm up, we were able to go back in. So that was funny. But yeah, so other than that, we just had a fantastic time. Everyone was so kind and I was gifted with some really just neat stuff. And I wasn't expecting gifts. Like that's just not in my, I don't know. I don't expect things from anybody. Here's the other thing too. I love giving gifts. Receiving gifts is so awkward for me. Is anybody else like that? Am I weird? I mean, I know I'm weird, but like it is so easy. I love giving gifts. I love making things and giving them to people. I love shopping for other people. I love all of that stuff. But when it comes to like receiving gifts, I'm very awkward. Like it just doesn't work for me. So I'm just, okay. Yeah. So I'm not the only one. Thank you. So I just never know what to do. And I realize that like sometimes it comes off like I'm being an asshole because I just don't like emote, I guess, in the way. I don't know. So I try to over emote. I don't know. Because I don't know what to do. It's weird. It's awkward. So yeah. So but I was gifted some really beautiful stuff. So I was gifted some yarn. So let me show you this. Of course I have buried it. But yeah, so I was gifted some yarn. And it actually has a really cute story. So this is called Dark Sky, and it is by Quaker Cakes, and it's really pretty. It looks like amethyst to me. Like it's got this very It just looks like amethyst. So I'm probably going to make some sort of I'm doing a lot of shawls right now. So I'm probably going to do an amethyst shawl from this. And it's just so soft. And what is it? It's worsted weight cotton. So it's 100% cotton. So that's why it's so soft. So it's really nice. I'm probably going to do like a shawl out of it and then make like an amethyst kind of shawl. So it was really sweet. And I think there's like 4 skeins of that. And it was this very kind woman that I met online, sorta. And, she's been nicer to me than I probably have been to her, just because I don't, there's a lot that goes on the social medias. And so she's been very nice in messages and stuff. And I probably haven't responded as quickly or, stuff. So she was just super kind to like not have been like, just like, I guess, gotten the warmest welcome from me online. Cause again, I'm kind of aloof, especially if you message me, you all know this. Like I had there is a thing because I feel like everyone can get a hold of me way too easily. And I don't like that. It's like, that's not how I was raised. It's weird. Anyway. So I was given this beautiful yarn and she came up, she had this box and she said, hey, I know this dyer and I don't do fiber stuff, but I, wanted to support my friend. So I got some stuff from her shop and I just wanted to give it to you. So she hands me this box and it's full of yarn and this beautiful cauldron, which I will show you. It's a yarn cauldron. It's just a 3D printed like cauldron with a little beautiful crack thing down the middle of it where your yarn goes. So it's like a yarn bowl, but it's in the shape of a cauldron. Here for it. Totally fucking here for it. Super cute. It's like kitschy in all the ways I want to be kitschy. So I am here for it. I'm very excited. So that was really neat. And while I was there, I was committed to taking classes, which usually when I go to conferences, I don't have time to take classes because usually like I'm preparing for my own classes or I am doing a class, like, or whatever, or I'm just tired and I just want to sleep or whatever and get caught up before I have to go do social things, that night. And so I was dedicated this time around to making sure I got to take some classes. And really, it was like I ended up seeing Evo Dominguez Jr. And he did a really cool class. I got to sit outside of like the door because it was really crowded. So like they put him in a smaller conference space, and Evo is one of those people who attracts a crowd. So like it was jam packed full, and I was like, I can't do that. So I sat outside the door and just with my crochet, and I was crocheting while I was listening to this really cool workshop where he was talking about all kinds of things. It was about basically astral temples. But he did it in a way that I'm not used to. Usually it's like people talk about astral temples and it's just so lofty. And it's like this, I don't know. It doesn't feel like it has a lot of practical use as a witch to me, but like hearing him talk about it was like, oh no, you can do these spells and you can preload spells and like all of this crazy shit I'd never even considered. So I was fascinated and I just sat there and I crocheted and I worked on Storm's present for his birthday. Now Storm's birthday is tomorrow. And I don't think he's watching. I'm pretty sure he's taking a bath and he's like, just doing the Pisces thing right now. So I will share this with you because I don't think he's going to watch it. But so I was working on actually he already saw this part. But I worked on this during the workshops. And so it is awesome. Actually, it's really pretty. So this is with the Malabrigo. This is the grays, I think it's like Palmino. And then the blue was the Wales Road. So it's the yarn I showed you guys earlier. Hi, Jen. Good to see you. And so, yeah, so I just started working on a shawl and I thought, for him, he's not going to want a big shawl, I don't think. Like, I think he's going to want something that's a little smaller and more manageable. Also something that can just throw around, like if he wants to go to the grocery store or something. So I thought, this was the way to go. So started working on it and I kind of hate it. Like, and I hate it because I made it in a way that it's actually like, I have to do other things, which I'll show you in order to make it like work in the way that I want it to work. But also, I don't know. I guess I just don't have faith in my own like design choices sometimes. And this was really cool. And it was actually really hard to do. I mean, because there's a lot of weird stitches in there. And so I realized and then I saw a Stephen West shawl and I was like, I absolutely can do weird lines and things. And like, I can get away with it. Like why he's doing it. Why can't I do it? And he's doing like really incredible stuff. So anyway, if you ever see Stephen West shawls, they're freaking amazing. You can get patterns online. So yeah, so I did this, and it's just really cool. And I was trying to like embody like Pisces vibes, because he's like Mr. Pisces, right? I mean, that's my Storm Firewolf. So yeah, so this is the part. So I worked on this. It took a while to do this because there's a lot of like weird little intricate stitches. There's I was doing a moss stitch, and it ended up not, which is kind of cool that it's got these lines, because I did it the other way. Like I was crocheting it the other way, right? So it ended up with these silver lines in the middle, which is cool. Wasn't expecting it, because they were supposed to be like alternating. That didn't happen. Whatever. I just went with it because I was like, well, it's working, so why complain? And I actually think this looks way cooler than what I had originally thought it would, like what I was trying to do. So that's cool. Anyway, so there's this. So what I have to, so I was smart, and I left these super long tails so that I could weave things in, which is such a pain in the ass. But I was like, I'm going to do it. And, blah, blah, blah. So I get home. I realized today that his birthday is tomorrow. I have not gotten very far with this project. He's a sweetheart. He's telling me, don't worry about it, honey. Excuse me, no. It's your birthday. Right? Matt, whose birthday is in like 2 days, he's going to get that giant scarf. So that's his birthday present. Cool. Storm, on the other hand, gets something else. So yeah, so this is what I started today, and it is going to be attached to this. And I'm going to make a whole experience with this. So this is like the side of the shawl. And so one of my nicknames for Storm is Loup Garou, which is like a French werewolf kind of thing. And I'm calling this the Loup Garou. And I have this really simple, just increases that go down. I just wanted to show off this really fun Wales Road because it's so pretty. And then I got this black this weekend, which I'll talk to you guys about. I went to my first local yarn store, bougie yarn store. And then then I started playing with like different stitches, which you can kind of see when I turn the light. You know what? If I do this, okay. But yeah, I started doing fun stuff with the stitches, and then it goes down, and I put a moon. This was a pain in the ass to do, because the other thing too is like Storm and I both have talked about crochet versus knitting and like what we like. And I know that neither of us are giant fans of like holes in the fabric, which crochets, you're always going to have holes in your fabric. So I was a little worried about it because there ended up being some holes like right here. So I think what I'm going to do, because I like to go in and do like detail finishing work. So when I get everything on a needle, I'll go through and probably like put some star patches or like appliques over just to give it some depth and cover that up. And I actually thought, I could maybe slip a crystal in. Like there's a couple things I could do. So we'll see. Gonna work on it tonight. Got to finish it tonight. Anyway, so this is the first third of it. And then this is the middle third. So you can kind of see where I'm going, right? And then I'll work another panel out like this. And so it's just gonna be long enough to kind of tie around. It'll be really cute. It won't be heavy, and I don't think it'll be too hot for him. So I think it'll do just the job. And I'll probably add a little bit. So if you think of it like as like a bar, I'll probably add a little bit of extra length here and do some extra design work just to see like what's possible. If I have time tonight, we'll see. I could also like, I don't know, I could give it to him later in the day tomorrow if I have time to work on it tomorrow. I don't know. There's lots to do. Anyway, so this is Storm's birthday present, working on it. I think it's going to be really cool, and I think it's going to be really pretty, and I like the colors. And when I got the black this weekend, so I didn't know. Okay. So let me finish the convocation story first, and then we can talk about the rest of the week. So working on that, and that's pretty much what I got done. And then I tried to work a little bit on a bag, and it is working up really slow. The fabric it's making is really pretty. It actually has like this knit look to it, which is kind of badass, but taking forever because it's literally everything's a slip stitch. So just taking forever. So I'm probably not going to finish it. I'm not going to lie because, oh my God, it's taking forever. So that's the whole thing. But I really like it. I like the Malabrigo yarn a whole lot. It traveled well. It balls up really well, and my desk is covered in yarn, as you can imagine. It balls up really well. It's just really nice, and it feels soft as heck. And I am all about the soft, all about the soft. So that's what I worked on when I was at the conference, and I did it because I wanted to be able to listen and pay attention. And having ADHD means that it's kind of hard to sit still sometimes, especially when I'm like nervous because I've got a class I have to teach later on in the day or any of that kind of stuff, right? So it just became this like thing of like, I'm gonna take a class, and in order to take a class, I need something to fidget with, and that became the crochet, which was awesome. So I was able to work on that, and then I got some beautiful yarn, and it was really cool. So it was a really great experience. Again, I'm going to do a video talking more about it, but it's cool as heck. So when we got home, so on the way home, because I know some of you who follow along heard about the plane debacle. I had a horrible experience with Southwest. I still haven't heard back from them, so I'm going to call them on Monday, tomorrow, and I'm going to raise absolute hell. So we ended up getting a delay on our flight leaving Detroit because there was a late plane coming in from a connecting flight. So we were late. We landed in Denver, which was our layover to come back to Oakland. We landed in Denver. We were there literally a minute before, or after rather, our plane left. So they left without us. And then we walk off the plane and we're told, sorry, buddies, you're screwed. We can't do anything for you. We can't, because it was a weather related event, which was just sounded like a big cop out. We can't do the hotel for you or give you food, like get you like that. It was the most they offered us was a $15 voucher for Matt and I to split, and they rebooked us on a flight for like 7 a.m. the following morning. And when I tell you I was angry, and I was already tired, like I was exhausted coming out of this conference, right? Because it's a conference. Conferences are like that. And then we get there, and the way we were treated was like so dismissively, and both Matt and I are like, for a ride. And luckily we had a friend who we met there who was traveling back to Oakland as well, and they were in the same boat we were in. So we ended up, at least we kind of like had them, and it kind of helped the conference feel like kind of carry over, which was kind of cool. But so there's the three of us. We were just stuck in Denver all night long with like nothing. It was just miserable. And I was not a happy camper. So I'm just going to say, you all get to see chill Devin. Put me in that situation and you will see not chill Devin. And we're just going to say that. So poor Matt had to deal with that. Bless him. Everyone should send him hugs, because I was a terror, and because I just blood red. Everything was, it was bad. So Southwest can suck it. And I've been flying them for like 20 years, and I fly them everywhere, and I've never needed them to like step up and do anything. First time, and they didn't, and I'm so pissed. So, so there's that. So we get home the following day. So it ended up making for like 2 days of travel, which was horrible, to get back from Detroit. There's no reason for it. So it took us a while to kind of like recover, and even I've still have not really recovered, because I had like projects and things instantly, and I came home to meetings galore. So I had like my week has been meetings, and then on Friday and Saturday I had gigs, and so there was that. So today is really the first day I've had to kind of breathe, and I've just been working on crochet stuff and just kind of chilling out, because I don't know what else to do. Like I'm exhausted. Like, can you tell? I look tired. I'm very tired. So anyway, so it was a thing, but I got to go to one of my local yarn stores, and this is a big deal because in the San Francisco Bay Area, there aren't a lot of yarn stores. And so, which is weird. There are way more yarn stores where I come from. Like I totally remember, that we don't have anything like that out here. So there's maybe like, I think there's 13 like in the entire Bay Area, which is a huge area. Like the Bay Area is like the size of like Rhode Island. So it's like this really big space. Technically, it's actually bigger than Rhode Island, I would say, because it goes all the way down to Silicon Valley and then dips back up to where the redwoods start and all that. So we have a really big space, and there isn't a lot of going on with that, which was really awkward. So I had a gig that was out towards where this one of these places were, and this map that I had gotten on Instagram of my local shops. And I'm all about local, right? Like whenever we can shop local, you shop local. Whenever you can support local artisans, you support local artisans. Like that is the number one thing for me. Like whenever possible. I just didn't know who my local people really were until probably about a month ago. And then I started like, yes, okay, this making plans for things and all that good stuff. So the plan was to go to a different store. I was going to go to this place called Babette's, but they closed weird, and I wasn't familiar with the area, but I knew this area better, and the branding was better, like it was cleaner. And so I just had this vibe of like, I'm probably going to have a more professional experience if I go to this other place, which I went to, and I had a fantastic experience. So it's called Nitique, and they do like all the yarns, and it's all the yarns that I like, literally all the yarns I love. Like I walked in, huge Noro display, all the Noro yarn. Oh my goodness. They had all the Malabrigo, and the owner like travels the world, and she meets these people, and she gets like special dye lots, special dye runs of stuff. And so she was just fascinating. I didn't have time to like really get into it with her. And so I'm going to have to make another trip. And as soon as I like came home and I showed the guys what I got, like Storm was like, I want something made of this. He keeps doing that to me, which is super fun, but it's just like, oh, he's getting a lot of stuff eventually. But yeah, so I got three skeins. I didn't want to like break the bank, because just got back from a conference, all that stuff. But I found this. So this is the same thing as this, but it's black. And I didn't see this online. Everything I had seen was like a variegated kind of colorway. I didn't see just a solid black. This is some of the best black yarn I've ever touched in my life. And I'm really impressed with it. So I'm excited, but it definitely feels a little different, I think, compared to the other two. I don't know why, but it does. And it's got like a matteness to it whereas the others kind of have a shine. So whatever, but and that was the thing I showed you. Yeah. With the thing that I was making for Storm. So you can see the black, and it just kind of just doesn't have the same. We'll see. Anyway, so there's that. Back to Nitique. So I walked in, and the owner introduced herself, and they were busy. They were totally busy. Which I don't know why I'm surprised at this, because there's not a lot of shops in the area, but I was kind of surprised that they were as busy as they were. And they just had everything, like just everything. They had my Noro, they had my Malabrigo, and then they had some local, they had like a local artist, and she said that they were kind of like in the middle of like doing stuff, so they'll have more local people soon. But she at least cued me into some of the local brands, which is great. And I got to, she's a local brand actually. So she is a designer, in addition to like her yarn like shop and her like all of the cool things that she does there at Nitique, classes and everything. She's a designer, and she's like got a bunch of patterns up on Ravelry, which is super cool. So I went in, and my first question was like, well, who are the local artisans, and is there anybody, there? And there was a couple of things, but I honestly wasn't into it, so I didn't grab it. And I'm like all about like local, but I was like, my local contribution right now is just gonna have to be to this store. Like it's not gonna. I didn't quite like get what I didn't see from that local selection something that like was making my heart sing, and I'm just not here for it, because I spent so long on yarn that didn't make me like my heart sing, right? Like, so I'm just done with it. But I'm also moving through projects so quickly that like soon I'm going to be back to my like scratchy yarn. So just saying, nay, we can't have that. So I got two colorways. This is smooshy. This is what they call it. Smooshy cashmere. And it is friggin' gorgeous. Look at that. So it's green. I am so into green and pink. Again, I have my green and my banana. Like I love green and pink. The pink princess, philodendron. I love it. So this is the green and pink. And what I'm going to do, and it's really pretty, like you can see where the color transitions, it gets lighter and then it goes into the pink. So what I'm going to do is do an assigned pooling project with this, which is basically you choose like one stitch for the green and then you do a different stitch for the pink, and it creates like variation in the pattern. So I think I'm going to do that with this, and I was really impressed. I was really impressed with this, and this is a fingering weight. So I actually got it because I wanted to make socks originally, but I can't make socks out of this. I think I have to make a shawl out of this, and I don't know if I'll keep it or not, but I probably will because it's smooshy cashmere or cashmere. So I'm gonna get it, and I can do a bunch of one skein stuff. And there's 400 yards in this, so it was $40. It's a one of a kind run, and so it was made. It's called Froggy Kisses, and it was made just for this Nitique, just for them. So you can't get it anywhere else. And when I tell you that it's some of the softest yarn that I have touched, I'm not lying. It's pretty incredible. So it's going to make something very nice and very lovely. And I don't know what and my sister's colors are green and pink too. So I don't know. But whatever it is, it's not something that I just bought willy-nilly, right? Like I bought it thinking I was going to do something really cool. So boom. So there's that. So really like that one. And then I got this, and this is really nice. This is a DK, and it's 20% cashmere and then 70%, I wonder what 10% nylon and then 70% superwash merino. And this I actually got to make socks with originally. And I know it's a DK, but I thought I could do it. And it's really pretty. So it's got peacock vibes, which is why immediately Storm was like, I want a thing. So I'm probably gonna end up making Storm a thing, which is fine, but it's really pretty. So, and of course I can't, the camera's not pulling it off as well, but really nice stuff. So got that. And yeah, so expect something neat out of that soon, I guess. There's that. So I was really impressed. Nitique, I got this really cute bag, which is of course on the other side of my room. And I'm really excited. They have a bunch of stuff online. So yesterday I watched them do a live in the morning. And apparently she gets up and that's the thing they do the hour before they open the shop. They go live on Instagram and they just talk about the stuff, and they do the trunk shows. They get the special dye lots and then make stuff. It's really cool. So I'm excited. It's to get to her shop though is an hour, 20 minutes, but I'm totally into her. I'm just going to appreciate her from afar and do her lives when I can. Cause I'm all about doing lives this year and just again, trying to help everybody out when I can. If I know you and you're doing lives and you're a friend of mine, I'm gonna try to do it. And with her, she was really cool. And I want to get to know what her thing is more. So we'll see, but I was really into it. I was really into the shop, and I think it's neat. And I'm looking forward to going back when I got some cash to burn and getting more. And if I would have thought it, I came home and I was showing off the yarn to the guys, and I was like, damn it, I should have gotten 2 more skeins, and then I could have really done something neat. But I don't know. But there'll probably be shawls. That's what I'm thinking. There'll probably be shawls, maybe socks. I don't know. But it's probably that, because I'm getting I'm getting quite the collection now, and I know I have more that I have my eye on. I have my absolute eye. I'm waiting for Noro to drop, because they're supposed to drop something that's more of a cotton silk blend that's a lighter, almost on the linen-y side. And I'm looking forward to that, because I think that would be badass, and I think that would make a really cool shirt, summer shirt. So I'm keeping my eye on that. But otherwise, I'm done with heavy bulky shit. I am done with heavy bulky yarn. If I never have to touch bulky yarn again, this is how I feel about it. I'm done. I will be okay. Not happening. Okay, so for those of you following along my knitting journey, I did it. So I did the stockinette stitch, and I stopped myself because I'm using bougie yarn, and I didn't want to waste a bunch of yarn, but I did it. I made it happen, and I'm super excited about it. So now all I got to do is figure out increases and decreases, which shouldn't be difficult if they're anything like they are in crochet. And so once that's done, boom. But I don't know, this could be a sleeve, or a little cuff to a sleeve, or I might just keep it. And then one of my things I thought I would do is, with my first knitting projects, is kind of whip some stuff up with this yarn and then just kind of sew all the pieces together and see what happens, right? But yeah, it's really pretty. And the orange and the blues and the greens matching in. It's that nice. It's Noro. It's Noro. I like it. So testy thingy. It was cool that I finally did it. Finally made it happen. And it's happening, and I'm happy with it. So there you go. Okay, so let me show you what else. So my other whips. I have one more whip that I'm prepared to show you. I think, yeah, not just one more. No, I have two more whips. But all right, so I have a very special friend who isn't one of like a special friend, but she is a friend who she's special to me. She's a very kind person, and I keep getting this thing like I need to make something for them, so I'm gonna make something for them. And I was, of course, I'm just all about Arcane Fiberworks because they're doing really cool stuff, and there seems to be a lot of people in the witchy occult space who are makers or crafters, and they're really into them as well too. So I've been keeping an eye on them, and just about 3 weeks ago, he started dropping, maybe 2 weeks ago, he started dropping new yarn. So for the season, so I was all about it. Totally. And he put out one called Beautiful Bouquet, which is, where is it? Here's a fresh one. It looks like fluorite. It's like green and purple and blue and white. And it looks like fluorite, just like fluorite to me. So I was inspired. So I think I got 2 skeins of this. And then I got some of his semi-solids that he makes there, which are totally the colors that are like in it. This is not in it. This like teal blue. This wasn't in it, but I'm using it for my accent color because it goes with everything and it's in fluorite. So I was like, okay, it'll tie that up. But here's their midnight, which was like the navy blue. Here's their, I think this is called leaf green. And then this one's plum, I think is their plum. So I got that, and I've been working up. I started with doing hexies. My plan is this. I'm going to take, so here's a big one. So here's a hexie. So I'm going to take the hexies, and I want to do hexies, pentagons, and then squares, and then triangles. And I want to basically work them up to be kaleidoscopy. Okay. So I've got a couple different variations. I'm gonna work them up and then sew them together in different patches, or like different pieces, and then use, like, I have triangle bits. Triangle bits go on to the other bits. So that what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically make it a big kaleidoscope of fluorite, as if it was a geode that's like opened up, and because fluorite kind of cracks like under its own pressure. It's really pretty, and that's how you get a lot of really cool things that happen when fluorite does that when it's growing. So my goal is to do that. So I've got all these hexies, and I'm just making her a shawl, but here it's turning into this like thing. So I don't know how big it's going to be, but it's probably going to be bigger than I was expecting it to. But that's going to be the accent color, is that blue. And so the plan is you get all these hexies done, you get all your triangles done, all your different shapes, kind of sit them down, you puzzle them together, and then you take your accent color and you seam them up so that there is a visible seam. And in this case, it's going to be that teal blue, which I think is going to look really good. I mean, just look at this, right? Like that's a really fun, that goes well together. So, yeah, so it'll be that teal blue that will be the seam, and then I'll have that to help make other things pop. And then I'll use the green in a couple of them, and I'll use the midnight blue and a couple of seams. And then I'll hopefully just kind of have this really pretty shattered crystal look all the way throughout. Hi, Lily Mae. Good morning from good morning. Well, good evening from California, but good morning to you. And yeah, so I'm excited. I think it's going to be a neat project. And but yeah, so I want to do it so that it's like the geometric shapes kind of on the bottom, but up on top it'll be like the bands of color, because they're kind of, as it grows in bands, right? So do those bands of color and then have it kind of break into those geometric shapes at the bottom to have like an uneven finish. So it's not just like a regular shawl where you've got a clean seamed edge. Like I want it to dissolve. I want the pattern to dissolve into geometric shapes. and that be what it is. So we'll see. I don't think it's too ambitious by any means, and it's not taking terribly long to work up the pieces because it's just double crochets, right? And just turning and being very quick about things. I have a couple of ideas about. I thought it was going to be more white. So when I bought this, I was expecting it to have more white. I don't know why, because I saw the swatch, but I did. I thought it was going to be a little bit more white. So in my whole, my camera froze. Can you see me? Oh, there we are. Okay. So in my whole like search to make all of this work, in my head when I was creating it, like the shawl in my head, it was going to have layers of white and that we're going to break the color up, and I don't have that. So instead, I'm just going all in on doing the colors. I'm just going all in. I'm going to make it as colorful as I possibly can and just pray that it doesn't look garish. That's all I got. So like, I don't know what else to do. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. Hi, Ben. Good morning or good evening. You're in Canada. I don't know why I said good morning, but yeah. So we'll see how it goes, but I think it's going to be really fun. I think it's going to be a neat project, and I should have enough yarn left over because I can't imagine using all of it. I should have enough yarn left over to do like another version of it, and that's cool. So we'll see what happens with that. But I bought it. I can't imagine doing anything else with it. Like it looks like fluorite to me, so I am always going to be thinking fluorite when I see it. So I don't know, but it's also cool because there's all. I mean, the other thing too is like when you're buying from like a certain dyer, like it's also kind of good to have a couple of the basics, right? So like having those solid colors is good. So I got some of that, and I think also if I wanted to, I could probably mix it with the Malabrigo and not have any problems, because they are very similar in feels. So we'll see how it goes. But anyway, so I think that is all the yarn I have. I didn't get any more yarn. I almost went to Michael's today, but I decided against it. I decided, no, Devin, you need to go sit down, and so I came home instead. Okay, there is one more whip to talk about, which is the Dragon Magic Afghan crochet along, make along. Sorry for that, the baggy noises. All right, so I got my first shells done in the actual yarn colorway. So this is the first one. And this was the sample, and I think this is gonna be a trust the process thing. I think this is gonna be I gotta get through it, and I gotta see everything worked up to really before I can have any sort of judgment. But I can say that my colorways, like this went out to like this nice blue, but then it just kept getting lighter. So by the time it came over to this shell, it just looks gray because that's my first color, right? And then the rest of it's just this kind of light blue. So I don't know. I mean, I know it'll variegate back to a radical whatever. And there's 56 of them to go, but I don't know. I want more black, I think, and so I gotta find. I'm probably that's what you know what I'm gonna do it because I want this done right. Like I'm making a magical heirloom object. I want it to be done right. So okay, so I probably need to find some Noro black. I probably can get it in the Madara. Okay, I have to look, but I want to get. I think I need black. I think I need more black. I think it's weird. It's a protection Afghan. It should have black. Yeah. So anyway, so there's not enough black in what I had gotten in the variegated yarn to make me happy about the black. So I'm gonna have to buy more black. Okay. Anyway, so working on it. I only have those 2 pieces done right now, and so 54 more to go plus the ends. We're gonna see. They are working up smaller than I thought they were going to, and it's because I'm making sure the stitches, making sure the stitches are tighter. So they are going to, the overall piece are going to be a little smaller, but it's definitely brought me to the realization that I'm going to need to come up with something to fill out the sides because it's just going to be a small kind of lapgan. And I'm not here for lapgans. I'm a dude. I want to be wrapped up in something, you know? Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. I think I'm going to have to get the black. I think I'm going to have to go find some black Madara from Noro, which is wool, and just kind of go for it because I don't think they have black in anything else. And it would feel weird to have a different texture in that blanket when the rest of it's... Anyway. Whew. So we'll see how that goes. Otherwise, so those are my whips. That's the yarn I just got. I'm kind of stoked about it. I'm really getting into yarn now. Like it's so weird. I can tell I'm getting into it in the way I got into plants. And that I'm like doing a lot of research, and I'm doing a lot of, I can't find my drop spindle. So now I'm looking at getting another drop spindle to replace the one that I've lost. And then I started looking at just like spindles, and it just is turning into a whole thing. I'm like, oh, here we go. Slippery slope. Eep. That's happening. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, so I am in I'm doing a lot of stuff. I'm so tired. It's been a really long week. Thanks for hanging out with me, everybody. I really do appreciate it. I gotta keep pumping stuff out on the channel so that I don't get disappeared in the algorithm. And I was not going to do this tonight. I was just going to sleep, and I decided, no, I must sacrifice energy to the algorithm of the tubes in order to keep the channel going. So I'm just glad you're here. And thank you for being here. But yes, I'm with you, Ben. It has been a long year, and it is March. Yay, being human. Okay. So I am devoted to expanding my repertoire as a creator, as like a maker, right? So two things. So I've decided like I need to work up a pattern every month. Like I need to find a pattern, and then in the month, do something from that, like from a pattern, create it to completion, and learn new skills, right? And I feel really confident in my crocheting ability. Like I feel very confident in my crocheting. I've done a lot of things, and I feel like I can figure things out pretty well. So I'm doing pretty good. With knitting, hail no. Like I just can do knit and pearls, right? Like I just showed you. So like I can do a stockinette stitch. Yay. So there's still a long way to go. I think this yarn, the pink and green, I think this would make a really good knit project. I think that like doing a shawl, there's a shawl called the float. It's called float shawl. It's the float shawl on Ravelry. I think this would be really cute in it. So maybe we'll do that. But anyway, so I want to do a shawl pattern from somebody else, because I love shawls, and I'm making shawls all the time, but I want to learn new skills, right? So I got this. I showed you guys this last time. This is the Crochet Southwest Spirit, and there are some really cool patterns in here. I can't show you like necessarily the patterns because of copyright stuff, but I can show you like the images. Like I think I want to make this next. I don't know if you can see. So it's the Cozy Yogi. It's like a wrap shrug thing, and it variegates out. So you use a variegated yarn, and then use a solid, and you let the variegation go all the way through the piece, but you break it up by putting the solid in, and it looks easy, and it looks like it would be something that with the right color choices could just be really fun, and just like it could be a poncho shawl, exactly. So I think that would just be really cool and fun to do, and I have yarn, so why not? I think yes, and they breathe very nicely. Exactly. I don't like being like restricted, right? Which the Afghan shawl blanket thing that I wore to the airport was a little restricting. But yeah, so I like to breathe. I like to be cozy and comfortable, and I'm just all into the comfort. I have Pisces moon and a Cancer rising. I just want to be very comfortable. So I think that's what I'm going to do with that. I could actually use that dark sky that I got as a gift at Convo. This might make a really good, I don't know. So yeah, so I think I'm going to do that pattern. I don't know if I'll get it done this month, but I'm going to start working on it and see where it goes. The big thing that I know I want to do is amigurumi. So, which is what my dragon is. So my dragon is an amigurumi. An amigurumi is like sculpting out of fabric essentially, but you're using the crochet to do it. So we'll see. But yeah, so I got this from Matt actually for Christmas because he expressed an interest in making cute little adorable crochet animals. When I was like super into crocheting, we were looking for something to do together. And I think he tried it and he wasn't into it, which is fine because it's not everybody's gig, right? But so I got him this book, and he still might because there's some really cute, simple stuff like he's totally into like little mushroom people and stuff. But the one I want to make is, let me see if I can find it real quick. It's a goblin. So Matt is really into goblins. I don't know if you know this about him, but he's super duper into goblins. And I thought making him a little amigurumi goblin that he can take with him places, or just have in his desk would be super cute. Okay, let's see. There it is. So he's an ogre, but he looks like he called it quote unquote an ogre, but he's not an ogre. That's a little goblin, right? Isn't that just the cutest freaking thing? So I think I'm going to try to make this month. Doesn't look hard. It just looks, all amigurumi looks time consuming to me. And I remember when I first started crocheting, I tried to make something and I bought all of this big, thick ass blanket yarn. I have so much of it. So I probably should make big stuffy things, but oof, it's a pain in the ass, folks. And I don't like those patterns are difficult because you really got to be on top of the counting thing. And I tend to the reason why I like doing shawls and afghans is I can just kind of check out and just do stitches. You can't really do that when you're doing amigurumi. So I don't know, but it's a little thing. So I think it'd be fun. And I'm going to try. So that's going to be my goal. I think this month is I'm going to try to make a goblin. I'm not at making beautiful dragon place, but I think I could probably handle a goblin. So I think I'm going to make a goblin for Matt and see where it goes. I saw like pattern today that was that goblin hat where it was like a toboggan, but it had goblin ears that came out for like an adult. And I'm very excited about that. So I think I might try to grab that. So next time we get together, I want to go through some patterns that I found. And I want to get your opinion, like legitimately, because the people who tend to watch this are my actual friends. And so I'm like, give me your opinion on this. And I would love to know what you guys are thinking about things that I might want to make, because I want your opinions before I buy patterns and I start investing time and energy in some of these things. Because these take forever. Like, there's one shirt that I want to make that is it's a linen. It's like linen. And so you have to very, very tiny stitches, very, very tiny stitches. And it's an entire linen shirt for for somebody with big shoulders like me. And it looked really cute. And it looked like something you'd wear in the Caribbean or something. Super nice. And I found at Natique, which I didn't grab, but I'm either going to order online from them because it's an hour and 20 minutes to get there and back, and I might not have time to do that for a while. But they had, she had gone to Italy, and she found this linen maker in Italy who had like these special, I think they were organic dyed linens. And I'm like, fuck. So I think I'm going to end up getting some of this linen, this Italian linen, and trying to make a shirt. And then I'll have like this bougie ass Italian linen shirt, which, I mean, okay, that's great. My only fear is making this stuff and then having to clean it. Like, that's my only, like, getting a linen shirt sweaty and then having to clean it and being worried about it. Like, it's gonna be a lot of stuff, but so we'll see. But I feel like I'm at the point in time in my life where, because when I was a little boy, I remember my sister saying, like, I can't get you anything like no nice clothes because you just destroy all your clothes. And I feel like I'm at the point now where I don't do that mostly. So I could probably make something nice and then wear it. So anyway, I'm going to show you guys some patterns next time, and I'm going to want your opinion, and then you can help me decide where to roll my dice. Beep. Very nervous making. And I did find some sweater patterns and some things. So I definitely want your guys' opinion, especially if you're a maker, or if you just have an eye for the aesthetics, right? And you can just say, Devin, that looks like crap, or Devin, that looks cool. That's all you need to know. I just want my friends to let me know what they think, because I am all alone in my journey otherwise out here by myself, right? And my poor guys, it's just like with plants. come downstairs and I'm like, oh, this cool new plant, blah, 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 blah. And they just, their eyes glaze over. Like they are not plants, blah, blah, blah. I might as well be the teacher from like the Peanuts videos, right? Like I might as well. So wah, 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 wah. And I can tell it's happening. And I can't stop I just keep going anyway. I'm just like, captive audience, listened about the different layers of a leaf and why variegation happens and blah, 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 like all that. I am that guy. This is disgusting. So bless them. But I'm starting to turn that way with yarn, and I need somebody to talk to. So you guys, that you end up getting that responsibility. Yeah. Okay. Well, Ben's saying I should do it, and that linen just dry cleans. So, okay, there we go. And yeah, so what else did I want to show you guys? There was something else. I guess it's just going to have to wait till next week. So I can tell you that this week, you definitely want to stay tuned because I have videos coming out. I'm dropping a bunch of videos, as many videos as I can this week, but I want to go over books. There's some really cool books that I got in the mail that I thought we would go through in this, but then I was like, actually, they kind of deserve their own spotlight. So I'm going to do a video about new releases, and I'm really into debut authors this year. So I'm trying to help spread the word about books that are coming out from debut authors who've never been heard of. And I want to get the word out about some of the good, awesome things that are coming out. So I asked Llewellyn and Wiser to send me debut books for the spring season to see what's up, and then I'm gonna I'm gonna share them with you, and then hopefully if I love them, I will be like, you should go get this debut book. So that's another personal project. And along those lines, I've got Marcus Ironwood coming on the show, and we're gonna do video live. So it'll be this week, and it's gonna be, I think, at like noonish on Thursday. I think it's something like that. Look, I'll be posting the live soon. But so he's going to come on and he's going to talk about the Llewellyn new releases for spring this week. I think it's this week. And then next week I've got Sam McNamara. I think that's how I pronounce her last name. Who is one of the reps from Wiser, and her and I have known each other for a very long time. And she's going to come on to talk about the new releases and debuts that are coming out from Wiser this spring. So you definitely want to stay tuned because we're going to get to talk to the pros, right? And if you're in the chat, if there's questions, we can try to field some things out with the sales folks, right? But it's kind of a rare thing. So, and usually you can't get these people on your show. So really cool that we're going to get a chance to sit down and talk about some of the new books and things that are coming out. So I'm reserving a lot of that for that. I got some really cool decks. I got a really cool deck that was handed to me at Convocation by somebody who is a really cool marketing genius. And he made a cryptids tarot thing, and it's freaking badass. So got that I want to share with you. Jen, I saw it and I was like, oh my God, Jen Sinky's going to totally be into this because it's weird, and Jen and I are into our weird tarot shit. So, so there's that. And I told Jen that I wanted to do tarot time with her, and go over some of the releases that had come out, and we haven't done that. So I'll get with Jen, and maybe we can make that happen in the next week or two. But yeah, so all these new decks that I want to share with you that deserve their own video. So I thought squishing them into a living episode probably not the best. But yeah, so that's coming out this week. And then what else is there? There's an announcement hopefully to make this week about a collaboration, which is going to be pretty badass, like really, really badass, with one of your favorite witches. And so I'm collabing with I know that they are one of your favorite witches because I know you people. And we're collabing on making a thing for you guys. So that's a product. Like we're actually making a thing. Like it's not just like a video or something. Like we're actually making a thing that you can buy, and then you can take it home or have it shipped to you. And it's exclusive, limited edition, only going to exist for a small amount of time. And then it's going to go poof because it's magic. So I'll have a really special announcement for you this week. I'm very excited about that. So just really cool things. So I've got good interviews. I've got good conversations about Convocation and what I believe, and this is something I want to talk to everybody about this week in Modern Witch Live when we get there, is I want to talk to you all about
conferences and how conferences are basically our modern day temples as pagans and witches. We don't have temples. We resurrect them when we go to conferences and festivals. And I got to go to a conference that kind of made me feel like the dog days are over. Kind of excited about it. So I want to share some of my thoughts and ideas about conferences with you guys. So that's in a video coming out. And I've got book stuff coming out. So all kinds of stuff about horticulture. Oh my goodness, friends. So many things. Speaking of, before I start wrapping up and letting everyone go, and again, thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out with me for this episode of Modern Rich Living. I want to also say that I had a video drop 2 days ago that is a houseplant care for the magically minded. So I have it's got all the things you would ever need to know about plants. I mean, like, at least from an introductory kind of standpoint, how to take care of them, how to keep them from dying on you, what's going on when you buy a plant and it dies on you, like all that stuff. So there's a video out right now you can go watch. Please go do that. And I'm just going to ask everybody to please like and subscribe and to share about the videos and the channel. It's a really big goal of mine this year to amp up all of the video energy, because I have been wanting to do this for a long time and I just have been in la la land. So it's like my focus this year and I really appreciate it. So like, subscribe, hit the notification button. Really makes a big difference. If you could do that, that's amazing. And I just want to say, love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for spending time with me. I have magic to share with you, like actual magic, not just this is my crochet work stuff. Like, I've got some really cool videos coming out. I'm working on things and I'm working on some classes for everybody. And I'm developing something I'm a little nervous about from a spiritual teacher perspective, about working with dragons. And so I had a really trippy dragon magic experience at Convocation that I'm still digesting. And if you were there, you know what I'm talking about. And yeah, so I don't know, there's some stuff that's percolating up here, and dragons are real. I'm just going to say dragons are real. Just so everybody knows, in case you had a question. Big, scary, awesome dragons are real. So yeah, so there's just a lot going on. There's a lot percolating, and I got a lot of stuff that I want to share with you all this week, but this isn't the time or the place, because it's Sunday night and it's late, and I know some of you are on the East Coast and it's like 9:30 there. So thank you so much. Thank you for all the love, and I will see you all in a couple of days. In a couple of days, we're going to get together and we're going to do some dragon magic, I think, probably. At least talk a little bit about it. And definitely we're going to do some good things when it comes to the amazing world of crochet, because I've got some great things, and I have some more yarn coming. Don't tell my husbands. Okay. Anyway, love you guys. I'll see you in a couple days.